So, I just watched a horror movie where a group of teens gets hunted down by furries, and instead of calling the police, they call a furry hotline. I wish I was joking. This is Furry Nights, and this might be one of the dumbest movies I've seen in a while, but somehow, I didn't hate it. Welcome to No Name Nightmares, where I help you find hidden horror gems and movies that feel like they were made as a dare. Today we're talking about Furry Nights, a movie that feels like a joke that refuses to end. So, the plot is simple. A group of friends goes into the woods to film a horror movie and they accidentally kill someone in a fursuit, and then realize that person was part of a whole group of very angry, very weird, very violent furries. Now they're being hunted. That's the movie. And honestly, that premise kind of had potential. And I'm kind of on the furry side with this one. The movie starts off immediately weird. Before the movie even begins, there's just a guy holding a toaster over his head. No explanation. Oh, it's for a production studio. What the hell? Then a fox furry is drinking from a creek, gets shot, and the blood splatter hits the camera looking like early YouTube editing, like it's 2006 or something. At that moment I realized I am not watching a good movie, but I might be watching a very entertaining one. Then we meet the main group of characters, and yeah, they're exactly what you'd expect. Loud, annoying, making the worst decisions possible. At one point, they literally taste blood off of a tree. Who does that? Like, why? And the dialogue, terrible. One guy can only talk about tits. That's his whole personality. He says lines like, "The booby shot is the essence of a horror film," and "Anne's tits are thawing. I'm gonna go get more firewood." This movie feels like it was written by people who have only heard of human interaction. But the moment that really got me, instead of calling the police, one guy calls a furry hotline. And the girl on the phone, completely serious, starts talking about how much she loves unicorn horns, in a way that made me question my life choices. I had to pause the movie, because what is this? Who thought of this? But once the furries fully show up, the movie actually gets kind of fun. There's a reveal where they're all standing there in the woods with weapons. One has a chainsaw, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. It turns into this weird low-budget slasher with just enough chaos to keep you watching. And then you get moments that are just gold. The mud scene. A guy's crawling through the mud while a furry just keeps beating him with a stick for a ridiculous amount of time. It just keeps going, and somehow it gets funnier the longer it lasts. You also have the silent slap. Two characters are having a moment. One grabs the other's hand, and she just slaps him, completely silent. No sound effect, nothing. It felt like the audio just gave up. And then you got the fursuit infiltration. One guy puts on a fursuit and tries to communicate with the other furries by making animal noises. He's a kangaroo, and it goes exactly how you'd expect. Oh, and of course there's always a character who suggests they should all leave because they probably should, but of course they don't. Why? Well, this is Furry Nights. But here's the issue. It sounds ridiculous and crazy, but this movie doesn't go far enough for most of it. It should be crazier, gorier, faster paced. Instead, it kind of drags in the middle, which is insane because it's barely over an hour. Like, how are we dragging at 71 minutes? And then, randomly, the final act shows up like a completely different movie. Suddenly we have more gore, more energy, more chaos, and you're like, where was this the whole time? There's even a moment that feels like a straight up homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And honestly, the last stretch is easily the best part. There's a brutal chainsaw kill, and we even get a hilarious furry fight and someone throwing a butt plug with a tail at a furry. I can't make this up. There's also this awkward love confession scene that comes completely out of nowhere. He gets rejected immediately, and then the guy just runs off and gets absolutely destroyed by a furry. It's so abrupt, it almost feels like a punchline. Like the movie itself said, yeah, we're not doing it. But why did they do it in the first place? It makes no sense. I was so confused. So yeah, this is one of the dumbest movies I've seen in a while, but I didn't hate it. There are moments here that are genuinely funny, weirdly entertaining, and almost good. With tighter editing and full commitment to the chaos and gore, this could have been a cult classic. I'm dead serious. It has that much potential. But instead, it's just stuck in this weird middle ground. So for me, Furry Nights gets a 2.5 out of 5. It's stupid, messy, occasionally hilarious, and just entertaining enough to be worth a watch, if you know what you're getting into. I just wish it went a little harder. If you've seen this movie, please tell me I'm not crazy. Is this complete garbage, or is it kind of fun? Because I genuinely don't know.